Okay, let's go ahead and do exercise 2 in Math. It's day 145. So you're going to be on 329. There's 2 pages to it. All right, so you should be on that page. So reading, map skills, and keys. Okay, so in the coming exercise, we're going to be learning about various types of maps. But before we do, we need to discover the tools of actually reading a map. Every map has a key. You may even say that a map's key is the key to understanding it. A map uses small symbols or small pictures to represent something in real life. For example, if the map is representing all of the roads and railroads present in a certain area, there will be a certain symbol or small picture to show where the roads and railroads are in real life. In your student atlas, look at a map of your state. Find the key on the map. What types of symbols are being used? In the space below, draw the symbols and write the key for what they stand for. Study the map and locate where those symbols are used. Symbols used in your maps, your state maps. Okay, I don't know if that's something in a book. No, it is not. Okay, so what are we supposed to use? In your student atlas, look at a map of your state. Okay. Yeah, let's do that. Okay. All right. You need this book. This is a great big humongo book. Okay. And you're going to find Texas. Let's see if I can find what page it's on. PQRST. This way. That's Rhode Island, South Carolina, South Dakota, Texas. Texas. Okay. Yeah, Texas takes up several pages. It starts on page 184. That's the northern part of Texas, and then the next 2 pages are the southern parts of Texas. And after that, it kind of hones in on big cities. Okay, so 184. Now it says, what does it say to do? Look at the map of your state, find the key on the map, and what types of symbols are being used. In the space below, draw the symbols and write what they stand for. In the space below. Okay, yeah, also on number 1. Let's find the map key. I don't even know how a map key. Well, that's great. It just says every map has a key. I don't see one on this one. Maybe it's because I don't know why. I don't know why these don't. Okay, let's do this. Let's look then. I don't know why these don't have keys. I guess because it's just it's not showing you stuff like what a key would show you. Let me see. Let me see if I can find one at the beginning of the book. Hey, let's just do this. Let me just find one online. State of Texas map. Duh, I always forget about online stuff. Okay. It's ridiculous that we don't have a state map. Okay. Here's our key, right here. I don't know. Click to see large. There we go. I hope you can see that. Okay. So right there on number 1, you need to pause this and you need to draw these and write what they say beside there on number 1. I know it's just a small, long area, so just kind of do it small. Okay. Go ahead and pause it and do that right quick. Okay. Now it says, we always need to remember that maps are visual representations of much bigger areas. Even if you wanted to make a map of your house, which is much smaller than your town, county, or state, and much, much smaller than the earth, it'd be extremely difficult and inconvenient to try to make it the actual size of your house. That's why maps have what we call a scale drawing. It's important to remember when we make a scale drawing, such as a map, every part of the map has to be scaled by the same amount. This is called keeping proportions. Now here's your map scale for this map. Okay. Now these are the three most common methods of depicting a scale on a map. Okay, so the first one, number one, it says the graphic method. Now that uses a line to depict a scale, or the scale. The line, which is similar to a ruler, and it's the same one they have here. It's in the book. Okay. It's divided in half, with one side representing the distance on the map. The other half represents the true distance of objects in real life. So in other words, now the top one here is kilometers. That's if you use kilometers. This here is miles. So basically what that means is if you put a ruler on this, which I don't know, I think that's about an inch, that means what that's saying, the graphic method means that it's showing you that 1 inch would represent 50 miles. Okay, 2 inches then would represent 100 miles. 3 inches would represent 150 miles. Okay, that's the graphic method, just using that. Now, number 2 on our page says the verbal method uses words to describe the ratio between the scale and the area of the real world being depicted. For example, a verbal key, it might be written down here, it might say 2 inches equals 10 miles. Basically, just use a ruler. And that means anywhere on the map where you measure 2 inches, that means those places are 10 miles apart. Or 4 inches will be 20, or so on. See how it's a ratio? How we've, so if you wrote it like a ratio, it'd be 2 inches over 10 miles. It's 2 inches to 10 miles. It's a ratio. That's why we learn proportions and ratios early on. The third one is a fractional method. Portrays the actual ratio between the proportion used in the map to the real life proportions. For instance, that map of the United States right there on your page, the first one, the verbal scale shows 1 inch is 1,485 miles, or 1 centimeter is 940 kilometers. Okay, and then it has your ratio written as a ratio 1 over 94 million. So that would be, that's your fractional method. It portrays the actual ratio between the proportion. Okay, so that means 1 centimeter equals 940 kilometers. Well, basically that would mean 1 centimeter equals 94. I don't know if that means 94 million. I don't know what that means, but don't worry about the fractional method because I don't think I've ever seen a map that has that. Okay, look to the next page, number 2, exercise 2, page 330. All right, look through your student atlas and study the map keys on several maps. Try to find at least one map key that follows each method. You may have to use other resources beside your atlas. In the space below, draw 3 map keys, 1 for each method. Label them, telling which method is used. So it wants you to find a graphic method thing, a verbal, and a fractional. And then number 5 says make flashcards, review your multiplication facts, look ahead to the next, talk to your teacher about their resources, blah, 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 blah. I'll look over that one and I'll tell you what we're going to need. Okay, so on this exercise, why don't you just do this? You don't have to write anything. Just look in, you know that little book you use for history? The map book, the Bible Atlas book. Look in that book and just look around. Just look at the scales. Typically this and the verbal one. I don't think I've ever seen the fractional one. Not to say it doesn't exist, but just look in some books that's got some maps and just see if you can see the different kinds of map scales. You don't have to draw anything. You don't have to write anything. I just want you to take maybe 10 minutes, look through some stuff and see if you can find those, okay? All right, that then would be all for today.